Hello everybody, welcome to Hack It Bootcamp Cyber Crash course, where today we will be looking at Introduction to Ethical Hacking. We will be covering various topics including some definitions, understanding about the type of hackers, ethics in ethical hacking, reason why hackers hack, skills required, phases of hacking, and finally finishing off with categories of hacking. Let's get started. Looking at the term hacker, it actually started in the 19th century. It was first used by a group of people in the MIT Tech Model Railway Club, in the group of the Signal and the Power people. These were the original users of the term hacker, which basically meant people with technical brilliance. But over the years, we all know that the term hacker evolved into what it is today. So what does the term hacking mean? It basically means the process of gaining unauthorized access into systems. Looking at another terminology, ethical hacking basically means the process of getting authorization to look for weaknesses on existing systems. The keyword in the definition that should be taken seriously is getting authorization. I had to go a little bit slower there so that you can get the importance of this word, getting authorization. Because without that, it is basically illegal, all the activities that you have done, and you may end up in prison. So guys, before performing any kind of test in systems, make sure you have a written documentation showing that you have authorization to do what you are doing. Now, let's look at the type of hackers. There are generally three types of hackers. Number one, the black hat hacker. Number two, the gray hat hacker. And number three, the white hat hacker. When you talk about the black hat hacker, these are basically the type of hackers who gain unauthorized access into systems. These are the most famous hackers out of all three. They are called the cyber criminals. Now moving to the gray hat hackers, these are the basically in the morning where they try to help combat cyber criminals, but in the evening they also try to hack systems, but at the end of the day they report to the organizations that they are trying to compromise. Now finally, when we get to the white hat hackers, they basically work with organizations to strengthen their systems. These are the good type of hackers, and in this bootcamp these are the type of hackers that we are trying to bring up. So guys, you need to be white hat hackers or ethical hackers. Now, as an ethical hacker, there are ethics that you are supposed to know about and you are bound to. So let's have a look at some of these ethics. Number one, ethical hackers should always get letter of authorization before conducting any activities in the systems. This is very important, and that's why I discussed this initially in the definition. Number two, report all flaws found in the system. Number three, maintain confidentiality. Any finding that you manage to get in the test, you must report this directly. Number four, do not disrupt the organization's daily operations. This means basically do not perform denial of service. Number five, non-disclosure agreement should be respected. Number six, at the end of each engagement, clear all tracks and backdoors, because cybercriminals may also gain access through the backdoors that you've left on the systems. So it is very important to clear all your tracks after each engagement. Each person that you come across will have their own reason why they are into hacking. And some of the major reasons are financial gain, fun, ideology and grudge, espionage, protect the interests of people, prestige and respect, destroy an organization's reputation, and finally, it could be to prove a point. We are back again on this topic of skills. As I said before on the previous video, depending on the specialization that you will pick, there are specific skill sets that are required to thrive in that specialization. And in ethical hacking, here are some of the skills that you will need. Number one is networking skills. Number two, knowledge of programming. Number three, understanding of databases. Number four, knowledge of multiple operating systems. Number five, scripting knowledge. Number six, knowledge of hacking tools. And finally, knowledge of search engine and servers. So those are the most common skills that you're going to need in order to thrive in this specialization. Generally in hacking, it doesn't matter what type of hacker you are. Either if you're white, black, or gray, you're all going to go through the same phases. And some of them are, number one, reconnaissance. This is basically gathering information about your target. This is where you're going to spend majority of your time in. Number two, it's scanning. This is whereby you're going to look for open ports and its services. Number three, threat modeling. This is basically where you're trying to look for the shortest route to your target. Number four, gaining access and hacking. This is basically where you're trying to exploit vulnerabilities on the services that you had found. Number 5, privilege escalation. This is basically where you're trying to move from a low privilege user to a high privileged user, which is basically the system administrator. Number 6, cleaning tracks and systems. So basically this is where you're trying to remove all the backdoors after an engagement. And finally, number 7, this is whereby you're going to write a report on all the issues that you found on the system. Just as a side note, for the last 2 phases, cleaning tracks and systems and reporting, those 2 steps are not going to be done by a black hat hacker. So just have that at the back of your mind. People should understand that even in ethical hacking as a specialization, there are sub-specializations under it, and some of them include wireless network hacking, phone hacking, web application hacking, social engineering, automotive hacking, physical pen test, IoT hacking, and finally computer hacking. My advice for you will be to pick one sub-specialization and become an expert at it, and then know the basic of other sub-specialization of interests. Keyword: interests. I hope up to this point you have managed to have an understanding of cybersecurity as a career and ethical hacking as a specialization. This marks the end of our cyber crash course. I would also like to take this opportunity to wish you all the best on your bootcamp. Cheers.